Another hantavirus update because this story just gets worse. So first, this is a reminder that the cruise originated in Argentina. A lot of people keep saying that the ship is off the coast of Africa or the outbreak near Cape Verde. This originated in Argentina. This matters because Argentina is currently experiencing a significant hantavirus surge tied to the Andes strain, which is one of the rare hantavirus strains capable of human-to-human transmission, and it's tied to rodent exposure in Patagonia. And in regards to the cruise, it is not your average family vacation cruise. This is a luxury polar expedition cruise. Very high-end, the kind of multi-week expedition where tickets reportedly cost close to $30,000 per person. So we are talking about an extremely affluent international passenger population traveling across multiple countries and continents before symptoms fully appeared because they take 1 to 8 weeks to appear. And in the current political climate, especially with the growing U.S.-Argentina relationship right now, this context matters so much. People with money and status are often the first ones to act like rules, quarantines, public health, etc. Whatever guidance, it doesn't apply to them. Like they're above all of this because they don't see themselves as part of the collective. We literally watched this happened during COVID. They still had huge private parties. They still celebrated their birthday with thousands of people. They flew their private jets packed with people. They were traveling sick. They were demanding exceptions because inconvenience mattered more to them than collective safety. We already know the billionaires and the top 10% do not care about us regular people. If they did, nothing would be like it is, to be honest. Society would not be the way that it is. And now we've learned that the Cheeto Puff administration cut funding last year for research specifically studying this exact type of hantavirus, the rare person-to-person transmission strain that we are dealing with. The research program was part of the Centers for Research in Emerging Infectious Diseases, and the entire network got shut down in 2025 after the NIH decided the work was supposedly unsafe. One of the canceled projects involved researchers in Argentina studying how the Andes strain of hantavirus spreads from rodents to humans and potentially then to humans. And being very objective, one research project couldn't have prevented the outbreak. But this is not the point I'm making. The point is, pandemic preparedness is supposed to happen before things spiral out of control so that we can be farther along in our understanding and have an actual structured response. You don't wait until people are dying on a ship in international waters to suddenly care about understanding how a deadly virus with a 40% mortality rate spreads. That is literally the purpose of infectious disease surveillance and epidemiology, which this administration continues to cut funding to. Experts know very little about the mechanisms of human-to-human transmission, partially because of how rare outbreaks are with this, but they say it's possible that hantavirus can be passed through direct exposure to an infected person's saliva, such as kissing, but it's unclear if the pathogen can be transmitted through aerosol droplets of saliva, like what you produce when you sneeze or you cough. Infection can also result in a buildup of fluid in the lungs, hemorrhagic fever, or kidney failure as well. Learning more about the virus was the goal of the canceled pilot project. So those are all things we don't know for sure. You know how we're always saying history is rhyming? Well, this administration has a documented history of gutting pandemic preparedness infrastructure, and they've kept at it because before COVID, the White House pandemic response team was disbanded in 2018 by the Cheeto Puff and his people. The CDC global health positions were cut, the Predict Early Warning virus program was ended, funding for infectious disease preparedness kept getting slashed, and what concerns me now is, yeah, the virus, but also it's watching people immediately default back to the same old mindset. Oh, it's probably nothing. Oh, you're overreacting. It's rare. Oh, don't panic, blah, blah, blah. And I think we need to have some distinction here. Taking something seriously is not the same thing as panicking. Learning from history and looking at pattern recognition is not fear-mongering. Paying attention to public health warnings and staying informed is not fear-mongering. Being objective and aware because of the history that the sitting president and his band of yes-men have is not fear-mongering. Even after COVID changed millions of lives globally, there are still people who refuse to take airborne illness, infectious disease, or public health preparedness seriously at all. And that mindset is dangerous because we all live in the world together. And another thing, we cannot ignore that this outbreak traces back to Argentina, where hantavirus cases have surged alongside climate-related environmental changes that affect the rodent populations. There has been 101 cases reported by the health ministry since June 2025, roughly double the previous year's figures, which brings us back to the point of my last video. Climate patterns affect disease spread. Environmental disruptions affect disease spread. Rodent population explosions affect disease spread. We are projected to have a super El Nino, and the hantavirus is proven to be tied to El Ninos. I did a whole video on this. Please watch it if you haven't. These things are connected whether people want to acknowledge it or not. And like I said, the current pandemic response team has been gutted and is dormant right now. I'm not here trying to say that the world is ending, but I am saying maybe we should stop dismissing every warning from scientists and public health experts until the situation becomes impossible to ignore. Some of y'all, including the sitting president and his whole cabinet of submissive yes men, have learned absolutely nothing from the last pandemic, and it shows. It is also worth mentioning that it doesn't seem like a coincidence that all of this is tied to Argentina, given the Cheeto Puff's close relationship with the country's president. He sent him billions of dollars for a financial bailout, even though our country is struggling. They share similar ideology. They are very MAGA aligned in their thinking. And as of early 2026, they are in talk for Argentina to become a destination for third country deportations, allowing the U.S. to send individuals detained at the border to Argentina. Nothing is coincidental. And I'm sure there's more that I haven't covered, but this is long enough for now. Until next time, y'all.